Hello. I have to share some fantastic news with you. Yesterday was a most beautiful, beautiful day. Blue skies and sunshine. And probably about 3 minutes to midday, all these seagulls started to swarm and group and then just fly off. At this particular time, where I normally sit, I had walked over to a public bin to put some rubbish in it. So as I looked around, I observed these birds and also observing that nobody else was even noticing this sudden swarming and gathering of seagulls, although they were squawking and not exactly hidden, quite audible, and then they just dispersed. So I've gone and sat down, and then this, I don't even know how to describe it, this like an invisible explosion. Just this sort of bam. And nothing seemed to change in the physical. But there seemed this feeling of a sudden shift in positivity. I subsequently messaged about 4 or 5 people and they all confirmed they felt this as well. So I should imagine there are many more of you who've also felt this. What it is, it could be just a marker of it's a change into a new day. And there's a shift happened at the same time. Going on the premise that a turning of the stars, the evening and the morning was the first day, so I'm taking 12 o'clock midday as being the marker where the day changes in this particular case. You could say it's the Passover where the sun passes over its highest point and then starts its decline, its descent. Anyway, so after this event, I'm sitting where I normally sit. In my mind, I'm on a beach somewhere like California. I'm drawing on what the five senses can take in, i.e. the sunlight, the blue skies. The sound of the passing cars is roughly about the right rhythm as if it's the waves. So I've now just denied the rest of the external and I transmute it in my mind and I imagine myself sitting on a beach. The sort of brick archway that I sit under becomes basically the sort of shade of a palm tree. But so from this position I've got this view of this brick retaining wall and there are trees and everything above it. Now what I saw is this something that drew my attention, drew my eye over to look at this towards this brick wall, and I could see I can only call it a virtual crack that has appeared down right in the middle of this brick retaining wall, because it isn't there. You can't see it with the physical eyes, but this was shown to me, and then at the same time I'm seeing this wall collapse and these trees suddenly growing at a fantastic rate. And of course, the sky behind has gone from blue sky, to red shift. The vapor canopy is starting to build up. It ties in from what I've seen before, where I said what I saw seems like 20 years from now, where all the houses in this area are uninhabited and derelict and structurally unsound because nature has taken them back. The vapor canopy is only, just under 18 years away, when basically the seawater, the salt water, which is conductive, and also will stick to by this sort of electromagnetic phenomenon. So the fertile lands do become what are currently ocean floors. This world is going to change beyond all recognition. It ties in with the energy flow family. A moon meditation where I saw the earth, even the rocks, everything is vibrant, green, and living and growing, is the only way I can describe it. I'm just relaying what I'm sensing, what I'm feeling. And this is the key part of this. This is your sixth sense. This is this upgrade. It is all in feeling. It is the true sight. It's not seeing in the physical. It is seeing in the unseen. And it is through feeling. And it is the alignment of the solar plexus, which is your house of bread. It's what feeds you. This is non-scientific because I'm doing it in layman's terms. Now so we're laying out on linear a human, a generic man. So either a man or a woman. We're laying us out, and we're looking at this in linear time because that's the realm we're in. So these organic bodies, you have your solar plexus, your house of bread, with the squiggly bits. That's what I'm going to call them. If you notice, there are squiggly bits, the innards. Then you have the squiggly bits up here. They're working in, hopefully in alignment, but it's the polarity that matters here as well. And that has to be heart-centered. It's in the middle, therefore it is neutral. It is neither above nor below, but right in the middle. It is the earthing plane. The earthing plane is your heart. So when we're talking about 2040, I see what is being shown, how it all connects with the Great Pyramid of Giza. I get all that with what Jason is showing on Archaic's channel. But I'm also looking to the unseen, what I feel. Now, there are no casing stones, therefore I would say no insulation on the outside of that Great Pyramid, so I really don't know. But what I feel and how this has sort of come to me, and I had a shower just now, so I've got flowing water, the water element, water, air, they're all expressions of the same anyway. And how do I describe this? It's all in the feeling, and my train of thought has just gone, just like that. That's incredible. So I mustn't think it, because if I try and think it, it won't come back. So bear with me, I'm going to ad-lib a little bit here. And have a sip of coffee. That seems quite an appropriate time. Yeah, so you've got your two squiggly bits. You have the heart center between. When you get those things in alignment, what comes in 2040? I don't feel I want to rely on something that is external of oneself. And I would say apply this to you also. Therefore, I feel when you look at what looks to be such a complex plan on humanity, an assault on humanity, you have to turn the question around and well, why would they do that? Well, clearly the answer is because there is something in humanity that is so powerful. I've said this all before, but it's worth reiterating this. Because this 2040 Phoenix Rising event, internalize that as like Kundalini Rising. It may be the big one, it may be something. Is the Kundalini rising just once? Is it just opening up a door? Is it paving the way? Is there something even greater that is going to come out like a volcano within us, an internal explosion that is not violent or destructive? Because this is a realm of perceived duality. Everything seems to come out backwards and comes out negative and destructive. By its very definition of being just an experience from birth to death, that everything is finite. There is nothing organic that does not go through that sequence and then is drawn back down. Working on the same principle as a magnet with the dielectric and the magnetism. We are no different. You have dormant circuitry called DNA. It's just inactive, but it will be activated. It's always talked about activation of light workers and things. Well, it's just switching on things within you. And this 2040 event, there may not be anything that you'll physically see, or it could be that you'll see things that others will not see, or others will see things that you will be protected from seeing, I think is the best way to put that. Your own protection. As to manifesting anything, if it's something in the material, I would say you need to be very specific down to the every last detail. If it is something in the unseen, a wish, a desire for changing the vibration, the frequency of Earth, then you don't need to be specific. You just send it out from the heart. Radiate that desire out. See it in the mind. It will be shown to you. Ask and ye shall receive. Is it not always said that you see the world how you want to see it? So take full responsibility for the perception you have of the world. So if I create a desire and I miss the mark and sin, it's purely down to myself for not putting enough energy, enough focus to override what the external five senses are telling me is true. Because we're rewriting the script, we are overwriting. You have an overstanding, an inner standing, rather than an understanding. You're not accepting things, even at face value. Are we to accept each other at face value based on how we look and how we dress? Or would it be better to see the true you, the true I am in you, the true you are in I? So this vapor canopy, this reset, if you focus on the fear side, if you play that part of Lot's wife and you look back to old beliefs, to old fears and to old doubts, you'll probably see that. Whether that is historical or allegorical or a mixture of the two is irrelevant. The important point of it is to, once you let go of something and you start walking that path, don't U-turn. Yes, you stumble on the way. We all stumble on the way. It's part of the learning process, just like learning to walk. That is your blueprint for everything. The desire and the wish to do it. Getting the concept by observation, then by putting it into practice and taking one step forward and then a second step forward and then maybe falling onto your knee. But then you get balance. You balance yourself. You pick yourself up. It becomes second nature through repetition. So it's worth repeating a lot of these things over videos for this same reason. It's expressed with driving of nobody sees the indicator until it has flashed 3 times. It's expressed as it's unlucky to have the third light because with a cigarette, because a sniper will be drawn to the attention with the first light. He will aim with at the second light. The third light, he takes his shot. It's always in threes, but also in fours. So internalize everything. We have the power within us. I'm also playing the part of a gardener. I am also playing a dualistic role in that I am playing one who is pregnant to express ideas, which then become seeds. Now, whether they fall in fertile soil of the squiggly bits up here, and look what the squiggly bits down here do. It processes material food, but now turn that into the spiritual. What is it processing? The gut feeling is your fountain of knowledge, and it will process things, and it will give you the answer, and it will express it in feeling. Your gut feeling will tell you if something is right or wrong. That is the ultimate truth in this reality, communicated through the avatar and felt as a physical experience. That is all. A lot of these aches and various things, these manifestations in the physical body, and we create them by our thoughts. We cause our own blockages. We are our own worst enemy. That is why in this realm of duality, things look the way they are, because your enemy knows you as much or better than you know yourself. It is within you as much as it is within me. I ain't perfect. I've made mistakes, but that's how we learn. But the perspective has changed, and it's a beautiful, beautiful relationship with it now. And what a beautiful day yesterday was. So I saw how nature will suddenly shoot forth. Nature is on our side. If we work with nature, what is coming cannot be stopped. I'm not denying that something that is provable over, 58 centuries, repeats in patterns that could be clearly seen. You just had one. A long-reigning female monarch has a jubilee, then dies. An elderly Prince of Wales succeeds her. That's a repeat. It doesn't matter when the things are announced. That's all to tie in with that script. But notice the jubilee to the ascension to the throne by the Prince of Wales was 3 years. This time it's 3 months. That's some sort of shortening of days, wouldn't you say? That's quite a reduction. But he says trying to do a quick calculation in months of 3 years. Silly me. 36. 36 down to 3. Whoa. Read that any way you want. Numerically, we'll read more into it. I'm just putting it out there. I'm planting a seed. Becoming the father of all nations, as it were, you could say. But also, I am also giving birth to those seeds. And it's not something exclusive to me, to just this avatar. It's something you all have the ability to do. If you tune in to that sixth sense, that is your spiritual evolution, because you're communicating with everything in feeling. It is communicating to you in feeling. It is not written. There's nothing physical about it. But it is as very real. It is as real and more real than a radio broadcast that you cannot detect physically, or a Wi-Fi signal that's everywhere. Oh, the ringing has just gone up in my ears. maybe I've said something that's put something out in the, that's broadcast out into the ether from that, because it's already created before it's even spoken, you could say. Think also the way your heart works, the way this body works. What is the first sign that puts you in fight or flight? Is it not the gut, which then obviously communicates to the heart, which then sets the pace, gets it going, gets the adrenaline going, because it needs it. It's to protect the physical avatar. It's to get you out the situation, or for you to stand and defend, depending on the situation, of course. Because you have to weigh up which is the better of the options, or to do nothing at all. Because what if you switch off to the external? What happens then? Faced with anything, what happens if you switch off the external to such a degree that you deny it? Can you blank it out? Can you make it like Greenland on a Google Earth map, for example? What are we up to here? 21 minutes. That's plenty long enough. 21. That's a pay 21s again, isn't it? Love to you all. Ta-ta for now.